What's going on YouTube? It's your boy XR Formula, and today I am picking out my final perfect bracket. If you do follow me over on Twitter, you'll see that I did an unofficial bracket that I had Gonzaga winning, but we're gonna do our official bracket right now for video. Make sure to leave a comment, like, subscribe, do all those things. Let's get right into it. UConn versus Stetson. UConn, that's a W. FAU versus Northwestern. A lot of people are picking Northwestern. I'm actually going to go FAU. San Diego State, Cinderellas last year against UAB. I take UAB in this matchup. I'm not going to tell you why. Well, I will tell you why. So I have my own stats that I like to break down. Okay. So my custom stats, fast break points. Okay. Opponent points per game, of course. So we're also taking seed into this. You also taking personal fouls, offensive rebounds, points from turnovers, offense and defensive efficiency, and assist turnover and rebounds. If we look at that, I believe it's still San Diego State. I'm still gonna go UAB. I think UAB is gonna do an upset. Auburn versus Yale. We're gonna go Auburn. BYU versus I don't know how to say that name. Unfortunately, I'm gonna go BYU. Illinois versus Morehead State. Illinois. Not a lot of upsets so far besides UAB. Washington State versus Drake. I'm going to choose Drake. A lot of people think this is controversial for some reason. I don't know. I'm going Drake. Iowa State versus South Dakota State. Going to go Iowa State. Now, going into the West. North Carolina versus Wagner. North Carolina. Mississippi State versus Michigan State. Never doubt Tom Izzo. We are fucking riding Michigan State. St. Mary's versus Grand Canyon. Not gonna lie to you boys. We're going Grand Canyon. Alabama versus Charleston. Alabama's fast, plays with a lot of pace. We're going Alabama. Clemson versus New Mexico. We are going to go New Mexico. Mountain West, buddy. Baylor versus Colgate. We're going to go Baylor. Dayton versus Nevada. We are actually going to go Nevada. Nevada, and Arizona takes it over Long Beach State. Over onto the Midwest. Purdue versus Grambling State. We're going to go Purdue. Utah State versus TCU. This is a tough one. I'm going to go TCU. I see a lot of Utah State. I'm going to go TCU. Gonzaga versus McNeese. I am going to go McNeese. Kansas versus Samford. I am going Samford. Two big upsets in the Midwest. South Carolina versus Oregon. I'm going to go. I've picked Oregon a lot. I'm going to go South Carolina. Creighton versus Akron. I'm going to go Creighton. Texas versus Colorado State. I am riding Colorado State. I don't know what it is. I just have this feeling. Going Tennessee to beat St. Peter's. Now going south, we're gonna go Houston, which can possibly be the best team in the league or in the in the tournament. Nebraska versus Texas A&M. We are gonna go Texas A&M. I see a lot of people picking Nebraska. I got Texas A&M. Wisconsin versus JMU. We're riding JMU this tournament. Duke versus Vermont. I got Duke. Texas Tech versus NC State. NC State's been really, really, really red hot right now. I think Texas Tech is able to slow them down. I think this break is going to ignite, is going to take the fire out of them. And I believe they've had too good of a run so far. Kentucky versus Oakland. We're going to go with the boys Kentucky. Florida versus Colorado. As I'm actually recording this, the Colorado and Boise State game is live. Is it not going to show me? That's fine. I am actually going to go Colorado. Colorado's winning, I believe. I think they already won. I'm going to go Colorado over Florida. Marquette versus Western Kentucky. We're going to go Marquette. Now, second round. UConn versus FAU. Going to go UConn. UAB versus Auburn. Going Auburn. BYU versus Illinois. We're going to take Illinois. And Drake versus Iowa State. We're going to go Iowa State. So we got 1-4-2-3 matchup. I don't want to do it that way, but we're going to do it that way. North Carolina versus Michigan State. I am actually going to go Michigan State to upset North Carolina. I think Tom Izzo brings Michigan State Spartans far. Grand K versus Alabama. I am going to take Alabama. New Mexico versus Baylor. This is going to be New Mexico takes it all. Arizona versus Nevada. I'm going to go Arizona. Colorado State versus Tennessee. I'm going to go Tennessee. Creighton versus South Carolina. I'm going to go Creighton. Samford versus McNeese. I'm taking McNeese. And TCU versus Purdue, I am going to take TCU. I don't think Purdue's going to make it very far. Colorado versus Marquette, I'm going to take Marquette. Kentucky versus Texas Tech, I'm going to take Kentucky. JMU versus Duke, I see JMU making it to the Sweet 16 and upsetting Duke. Houston versus Texas A&M. I'm going to take Houston. So moving on to the Sweet 16, UConn versus Auburn. Got UConn. Illinois versus Iowa State. I am going to go Iowa State. Michigan versus Alabama. Michigan State versus Alabama. I'm going to ride Alabama. And then New Mexico versus Arizona. I am actually going to take New Mexico here. I am not very high on Arizona. Creighton versus Tennessee. I'm going to go Creighton. And McNeese 12, TCU 9. I am taking McNeese to go to the Elite 8. Houston versus J. Madison. I think Houston kills them. And then Kentucky versus Marquette. I am going to go Kentucky. So this is your Final Four right now. You got UConn, Iowa State, Alabama, New Mexico, Creighton and McNeese, and Houston and Kentucky. UConn versus Iowa State. I got UConn to make it to the Final Four. Alabama versus New Mexico. I am going to take New Mexico to make it to the Final Four. Kentucky versus Houston. I'm going to think about that. I'll go on to this one. Creighton versus McNeese. I think McNeese has an insane run so far, but I think Creighton slides it in, takes it. It's going to be a close game. Houston versus Kentucky. I will go Houston. New Mexico versus UConn. This is where I take UConn. Creighton versus Houston. I think Creighton pulls the upset in the Final Four. I think we get UConn versus Creighton. I think UConn runs it back. I'll do the score. I'll do 77 to 64. And I got UConn winning it all. So just let's go over it one more time, just for the memes. I think this is going to be the perfect bracket. There's some things that could change that I have in other brackets because, of course, this isn't the only bracket I have. This is my official bracket. Some things could sway, like I'm really riding high on McNeese. I know they don't. They're what's it called? Their schedule has been very, they played against a women's school, but I'm riding them, and I'm also riding heavily on New Mexico. I think New Mexico makes it pretty far. But yeah, I hope you guys do enjoy. That's it. If you guys want to see videos throughout March Madness, some MLB The Show, I am working on some videos like that. I hope you guys do enjoy this video. Comment down below what picks you have. I know this is kind of outrageous, but hey, sometimes you got to ride the underdog, and I like riding. So I got UConn repeating. Hope you guys enjoy. See you in the next video. Peace.